Welcome to Competition Curious, the blog, vlog, and podcast for business owners and marketers who are curious about running competitions. I am your host, Suki Van K. I am the world's first and only dedicated expert strategist and complete nerd when it comes to competitions. In today's episode 9, I want to discuss the difference between the two types of competition that you can run. These are games of chance and games of skill. And you're probably wondering, why does it matter? A competition is a competition, right? Well, not exactly. In fact, actually, no, that's completely wrong. There are two different types of competition that you can run, and those two different types are going to have a massive impact on your legal obligations for your competition and also for the types of results that you are going to get from your competition. So if you're clueless as to whether you should chance a game of chance or have the skills to pull off a game of skill, this episode is for you. Let's dive in. All jokes aside, let's start with the most common type of competition that you are going to see out in the wild, as I call it, and those are games of chance. So a definition of a game of chance is a competition that does not require any skill to enter, and skill plays no part in determining the winner who is picked at random. So there's two really important parts to the definition of a game of chance. That is how they enter, what they need to do to enter, and also how you are going to be picking the winner. So a game of chance competition is aiming more for the quantitative, the large quantity of entries that are usually going to be all the same. They're all going to be email addresses, or they're all going to be likes, or they're all going to be one format of entry. And no skill plays any part anywhere in the entry of the competition. Examples of games of chance competitions will include enter your email to win competitions, like and or follow to win competitions, vote to win competitions, or complete the form to go in the draw to win style competitions. So in all of these cases, as I've just said, all of those entries are pretty much going to look the same. They will mostly consist of a like on a page or a follow on your account or a vote in the system or a name or an email address. There's not really going to be any kind of differentiation between those entries. There's not going to be any entries that stand out over any others. There's no skill that any of the entrants show in any of these types of competitions. This is quintessentially what makes a game of chance a game of chance. So what does this actually mean for your competition? Well, games of chance, just like games of skill, as we will look at in a moment, have a number of advantages and disadvantages. The main disadvantage of running a game of chance competition is that in Australia and in many countries around the world, you will need a license or a permit or authority to run that competition. Now, this does usually depend on the total value of the prizes that you are giving away. So you will need to check your local license and permit requirements if you are running a game of chance. That said, games of chance do come with their upside too. Because they are so easy to enter, the barrier for your entrance to enter is so low, you generally will be able to reach a lot of people and gain a lot of entries for your competition. And this also means that you will potentially gain a lot of leads for your business too. So to recap, a game of chance is essentially any competition where your entrants do not need to show any skill, and at the end of the competition where you gather all of your entries together and pick your winner at random. Moving on to games of skill. So games of skill are more those types of competitions where effort or thought is required to enter the competition. Your official definition of a game of skill is a competition which requires a demonstration of skill to enter, and skill plays an essential part in determining the winner, who is picked based on the skill demonstrated in their entry. Games of skill competitions are more qualitative in nature. This means that the types of entries that you are collect are going to be higher quality and are going to involve a lot more detail, and they're going to be displaying a skill in their entry. So they're obviously going to be submitting something that requires thought, that requires effort, that requires their time, and also, as the name implies, requires some form of skill to be shown in that entry. The types of entries you're going to gather with a game of skill competition will usually all be unique, unlike games of chance competitions where they're pretty much all going to be a name and or an email address. With a game of skill, because your entrants have to put skill into their entry, they are all going to be completely unique entries. And you are going to review all of these entries, potentially create a shortlist, and choose your winner based on the skill that they show in their entry. The types of competitions that fall under a game of skill are going to include submit an answer to this question, tell us in X words or less, submit a photo, submit a video, or upload some kind of essay or creation into the competition. Essentially, when it comes to a game of skill, you are asking your entrants to create a unique and original piece of content which they are going to submit as their entry into your competition. So what does running a game of skill actually mean for your competition? The biggest advantage, at least here in Australia and in many countries around the world, unlike games of chance, games of skill do not currently in Australia require you to apply for a license. So this is not only going to save you money in the license applications, it's also going to save you time in waiting for those licenses to be granted. Other advantages are that you are aiming for quality over quantity. So the types of entries that you're going to get are going to be so much higher quality. Generally, they are also going to comprise user-generated content, so submit your photo, submit your answer, and you can potentially use these entries in future marketing material. And it's also going to be so much more engaging for your audience because they do have to engage with your brand. They do have to put some thought and effort into their entry. The final advantage is also that you get to choose your winner. And for some people, this is really important. So you get to review every single entry into your competition. And because you are choosing your winner based on the skill that they show in their entry, you are going to be manually deciding who is going to win your competition. You are not picking your competition at random like with a game of chance. Now, games of skill aren't all sunshine and rainbows. Yes, you save time and money by not having to apply for a license. Yes, you get more high quality entries, but people are very lazy and people really need hand-holding. And because of the effort and the time and also the skill that is going to be involved in entering a game of skill competition, you do get far, far fewer entries. So you can expect to get around a quarter of the entries for a game of skill as you would get for the same competition run as a game of chance. Don't despair, there are ways to improve this entry rate for games of skill. So there are two main ways that you can do this. The first is going to be to carefully consider your prize and make sure that the value of your prize, and remember we've discussed before, it's not the dollar value, it's the value to your audience. The value of your prize is high enough that the effort to enter the competition is worth the prize that they could potentially win. So a competition where they have to complete a 25 question survey and then tell you at the end in 25 words or less why they should be chosen as the winner in exchange for a $10 potential to win a $10 gift card prize, you're not going to see very many entries at all. The effort required to enter that competition is not outweighed by the prize they could potentially win. If, on the other hand, you are giving away a $5,000 prize package and you're asking them to complete a tell us in 100 words or less why you should be our next brand ambassador, the prize definitely outweighs the effort that's going to be required to put together that entry. You can also, as your second way to mitigate the damage of games of skill or the minimal entries from games of skill, is to keep your competition open for longer. With games of skill, people are going to need time to put together their entry. So if you're only open for a week, you're going to see minimal entries. If you are open for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, you're giving people enough time to see your competition, contemplate what they want to put together as an entry, and come back and put that entry in to win the prize. So to summarize, a game of skill is where your entrants must show some some skill in their competition entry, and where you will definitely be picking your winner based on the skill that they have shown in their entry. Okay, so there are always grey areas when it comes to running competitions, and a common grey area that I get questions about when it comes to games of skill and games of chance is how you decide whether you're running a game of skill or a game of chance. So let me explain. In those definitions of game of skill and game of chance, we did look at the two aspects that comprise the definition. So one is what they have to do to enter. Do they have to show skill or not? And the other part is how you pick your winner. Do you pick them at random or based on the skill that they have shown? When it comes to running a competition, which could technically be a combination of the two, how do you decide whether you are running a game of chance or a game of skill? So an example of this could be where you ask people to answer a question. There's one correct answer and there's potentially lots of wrong answers. Everyone who gets the correct answer has shown skill in their entry because they've got the correct answer. However, the correct answer, say it's 28, everyone who gave the correct answer of 28 is now in the pool, and you've got to pick your winner from everyone who answered correctly. So the entry method is skill, yes, but how you pick your winner is going to be random from that pool of people who guessed the correct answer. So technically, this is going to be a game of chance because how you pick your winner is definitely chance. So in this case, the actual winner picking process is what determines whether you're running a game of skill or a game of chance. Let's look at another example. So let's say you're running a competition where the first person to submit their answer is going to be crowned the winner. This is a game of skill. The skill is in being the first person to submit their correct answer. And this is a true game of skill because there can only be one winner, and it is the first person to submit their entry. So you are going to pick your winner based on whoever it is who gets the first correct answer in. One final example I want to share is if you are running a game of skill, say for example, you're asking people to submit photos of them using your products, and you are going to create a shortlist and you want to choose a winner at random from that short list of people. Again, yes, the entry method is a game of skill, but how you pick your winner is more important in this case. If you are picking your winner at random from the shortlist, it doesn't matter what they had to do to enter, you are picking your winner at random, and that makes it a game of chance and not a game of skill. Now, this usually leads us to our second question. What's the best type of competition to run for my business? And to this, I would answer, it totally depends on what you want from your competition. So a competition to grow your email database versus a competition to find a new t-shirt slogan are going to be two completely different competitions requiring two completely different entry methods. And one's going to be a game of chance, one's going to be a game of skill. Enter your email is going to be more suited to a game of chance to get a larger amount of emails with the goal of growing that database. If you ran a game of chance for a t-shirt slogan, then you won't be able to pick your favorite. You will just choose from everyone who submitted a slogan. If you were to run a game of skill for that t-shirt slogan competition, you can review every single entry that's been submitted and you can choose the best slogan that you will then presumably reprint on a t-shirt. So there you have it, the difference between a game of skill and a game of chance. Essentially what it comes down to is what you're asking them to do to enter your competition and how you are going to pick your winner. Now, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Competition Curious. If you have, I would absolutely love it if you could share it with your business owner and marketer friends. Also, please do remember to follow and subscribe so that you can be notified when new episodes become available. And if you do have time just to leave me a quick review and rating, I would be super grateful. I have been Suki Van Kay, and I'll catch you next week for another episode of Competition Curious.